Thanks, Mike. My name is Twomey, and welcome to the Political Desk. At 1:30 on Wednesday, President Obama gave a speech to describe his budget plan to the American people. In the 43-minute presentation, the president countered Paul Ryan's House Republican proposal with a deficit and debt reduction plan of his own. President Obama's approach appeared to offer a clear alternative to the Republican plan.
But the wealthier have borne a little more. This is not because we begrudge those who've done well. We rightly celebrate their success. Instead, it's a basic reflection of our belief that those who benefited most from our way of life can afford to give back a little bit more.
Obama pointed out the need to increase taxes on the wealthy. Over the past decade, the bottom 90% of the workforce has seen a decline in average income, while the top 1% of earners has seen their incomes rise by over $250,000 each year. The Republican budget plan introduced by Paul Ryan seeks to get rid of Medicare by privatizing it. Obama pointed out in their plan that a $200,000 tax cut on the wealthy would cost 33 senior citizens over $6,000 each in medical costs. It's simple math, really. 6,000 multiplied by 33 seniors equals $200,000. The Republican plan also cut 70% in clean energy, 25% in education, and a 30% cut in transportation, allowing other countries to excel past us on transportation technology, such as high-speed trains.
That's the proposal. These aren't the kinds of cuts you make when you're trying to get rid of some waste or find extra savings in the budget. These aren't the kinds of cuts that the Fiscal Commission proposed. These are the kinds of cuts that tell us we can't afford the America that I believe in and I think you believe in.
The cuts proposed in the Ryan plan are severely detrimental to the growth as a country. How can we be considered the greatest nation on earth if we can't afford to protect our citizens who need a safety net? The Ryan plan cuts the federal budget massively and puts the burden of the debt and deficit on the middle and lower classes. Yet, it doesn't really reduce the deficit by all that much because of the tax breaks we give to the wealthiest. The Ryan plan says that we can't afford the path we are on, which I completely agree on with, yet
we can somehow afford more than $1 trillion in new tax breaks for the wealthy. This vision is less about reducing the deficit than it is about changing the basic social compact in America. Ronald Reagan's own budget director said there's nothing serious or courageous about this plan. There's nothing serious about a plan that claims to reduce the deficit by spending $1 trillion on tax cuts for millionaires and billionaires.
Ronald Reagan's own budget director said there is nothing serious or courageous about the Republican plan. Ronald Reagan, supposedly the king of conservatism. The Republican argument about the Bush tax cuts is that eliminating them will put an even greater burden on small business owners who are creating jobs. While a tax increase might hurt their ability to hire an extra person, Obama's health care program reduces the burden on small business owners to provide health insurance. Why do Republicans only care about small business owners when it comes to tax cuts? Republicans are also under the impression that cutting spending doesn't affect unemployment. All John Boehner was talking about after Republicans won last November was jobs, jobs, and more jobs. Except he hasn't created any jobs. He's actually just cut government programs that have eliminated jobs.
I think all the Republicans made it clear, and I think the Democrats understand that we don't believe lack of revenue is a part of the problem, and so we will not be discussing raising taxes in this.
The only concrete proposal in the president's plan that he'll roll out today is his plan to raise taxes. And I find that very unacceptable given we're several days out from tax day in this country. We don't believe that raising taxes is the answer here. I think the American people understand we have a serious problem in this country. We have a debt that will crush the next generation and the ability for us to see a better future. We've put on the table our plan, our vision. We're going to be voting on the floor this week on the Ryan budget plan, and it lays out how we expect to frankly save the safety net for those who need it in this country, not for those who don't. The President has not come forward with any specifics as far as how we're going to deal with our debt obligation. I'm looking forward to seeing specifics and to getting serious so we can respond to this debt crisis that we're facing.
There is no plan from the Republicans to save the safety net. Their plan is to get rid of the safety net. And did you notice how Senate Minority Leader Mitch McConnell and House Republican Leader Eric Cantor never said, raise taxes on the wealthy, but rather just raise taxes, meaning that everyone is getting a tax increase? The truth is that Obama said that he would reduce the burden on the middle class with tax breaks, but increase taxes for the wealthy. If you asked Americans whether they liked tax cuts, they would always say yes. Who doesn't like tax cuts? It just means more money in your pocket. But if you also asked whether they liked a strong defense, better education, continued medical research, Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security, they would also say yes. Who doesn't like those things? Republicans have campaigned on the idea that we can keep these programs strong and still cut taxes for billionaires in the middle of a recession while fighting a debt and deficit crisis. Something has to give. This is a question of what Americans want. Do we want an America that prospers and grows? Do we want an America that provides for our citizens in need? Do we want an America that promotes the middle class? Is healthcare considered a public good? Should government get involved in an industry that is for the public good? I was always under the impression that these are the things that make America the best nation on the planet. These are the things that separate us from the rest of the world. We do need a smarter budget plan. We do need more accountability in government. But that doesn't mean that government is evil. Government is the name we give to the things we choose to do together, and that the free market doesn't provide. These are serious issues that will have to be addressed in our next election. Please, go and vote. That does it for us here at CSTV News. My name is Twomey, and hopefully we'll see you next week. Good night.